Judy and the organisation, and to everybody in this room today. Such an honour and privilege to be here. Yes, it is my first visit to Kenya, has always been on my bucket list, and what a wonderful opportunity to be in the country. So thank you very much. It's been such a warm welcome, and I take any invitations to return personally, so you can invite me anytime during the next 2 days. Thank you. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about marketing a sustainable brand effectively, because I think that we have done that rather well in Cape Town in our property. So I'll introduce you to the property. I'm going to show you a short video clip on how it was built. It's a 4-star hotel, which is at Cape Town International Airport. It was uniquely positioned because it was a perfect business opportunity. First of all, it needed another airport hotel within the precinct. Secondly, it needed to be different, and the differentiating factor was that it needs to be a green, sustainable hotel. And even more so because we know that there's nothing sexy about an airport industrial area, and we had to find what we could do uniquely different to make us stand out. And our owner of our property, Mario Deliscio, he's Italian born but grew up in Germany, has a very keen invested interest in sustainability. He's got 3 beautiful daughters, and his protection of the future is very important to him for his generations. So the hotel was built, it's 145 rooms, it's a 4-star property, and so we decided to go green. And green is such a big term, where do you start? So we started with technology. And obviously Mario being German, Vorsprung durch Technik, so he got a lot of technology tips from Germany, and we did a lot of firsts for Africa. Currently we are hailed as Africa's greenest hotel. It is insured certificate. It's got all the normal luxuries and standards of a hotel, and with our Tourism Grading Council, it is, as you mentioned earlier, Carmen, it is very strict. And we made sure that we just sort of on the upper scale of a 4-star property, and then came the technology. So some of the technology that we have is geothermal loop system, regenerative drive elevators, grey water recycling, very energy efficient equipment, heat pumps, and when you watch the video you'll get a nice overview of those technological interventions. So there's also, and I will talk about return on investment, because the first thing everybody says is you must have lots of money to do that. And yes, there's a premium to be paid for doing those things. It's about 10% of the budget of the construction, but the return on that investment is what banks, yes, correctly, it was mentioned earlier, still don't understand, and possibly most of the stakeholders within tourism, because it's not something you can quantify immediately. But this is where, if you're doing it the right way, you track your data, because everything will become figures-based. You have to prove, and you'll be able to back up with statistics on the return on that investment. Get to the video. I hope it works. I'm always bad at technology.
Hotel Verde, Africa's greenest hotel, has blazed a trail of innovation and set new standards of excellence in the hospitality industry. Owners Mario and Annamarie Deliccio are passionate about sustainability and have infused every aspect of the building and running of this hotel with what are some of the most advanced environmentally conscious construction and operation practices in the world.
We're not inheriting this planet from our forefathers, but rather we are borrowing it from our children, and that is really the view which we have to take and try and live as sustainable as possible. We have, as individual as well as company, a responsibility towards future generations.
Hotel Verde is conveniently situated just 400 meters from Cape Town International Airport and within easy driving distance of the city's central business and shopping districts. Hotel Verde has an emphasis on providing a comfortable space for both leisure and business travelers. Of the 145 luxurious contemporary styled rooms, there are 4 room types available: standard, studio, executive, and an executive suite. There is also an option for interleading rooms for families, all elegantly furnished and decorated in the hotel colors, which include grey with purple and orange and green. Natural, fresh, optimum temperature airflow is fed into every room and will reduce the need to use the air conditioner. Guests are encouraged to embrace our greening philosophy and will be offered rewards for sustainable practices during their stay.
At Hotel Verde, we have found some fun and creative ways to get our guests to participate in our green operating practices. By doing so, the guests can earn Verdinos. Verdinos is an in-house currency which the guests can use to offset against their account or use as an in-house currency within the hotel. The way that the guest earns a Verdino is by simple green practices such as reusing your towel, using the gym, or even separating their waste in the room. We have also launched an incentive program for our young children at Hotel Verde called Verdinos for Bambinos. This takes them on a trip through the wetland and educates them on the ecosystem as well as green practices. When they go home, we hope it becomes a way of life and their future.
Local original art decorates many of the hotel walls. And, as with everything at Hotel Verde, this too has a story. Mario and Anna-Marie Deliccio initiated a project allowing grade 11 art students to decorate the walls of the hotel. The project saw 45 grade 11 learners from various schools in the local community tasked to research environmental responsibility and produce original artwork in response to what they learned. These works were then translated into different mediums and now form part of the hotel's art collection. With 7 meeting rooms available, seating anything from 8 to 120 delegates, the hotel is equipped to meet all conferencing requirements. There is a strong emphasis on natural lighting throughout each of the rooms, and everything is geared towards technical convenience of the highest standard. Hotel Verde's dining experience focuses on health and wellness. The open-plan kitchen provides guests with a view of what is happening, so they can experience the chefs and staff working their magic, making wood-fired pizzas, or whipping up an old favorite from the buffet, or a la carte menus. An early breakfast menu is available from 4:30 a.m. if you have to catch a flight or attend a morning meeting. The fully equipped hotel gym is the first in Africa to have power generating equipment. These machines feed power back into the hotel as you work out. The surrounding landscaped wetlands have an outdoor eco-trail for all those guests who prefer to exercise in the open air. This trail meanders through the grounds and ends with a selection of outdoor gym equipment. Wooden deck lookout areas provide an unfettered view of the wetlands to allow guests to enjoy the natural flora and fauna in the area. When it comes to sustainable building practices, the team of experts at Hotel Verde has gone to the greatest extent yet seen on the continent.
In order to make this Africa's greenest hotel, we have looked at a different way, an innovative way of doing everything from the word go. The right way, the responsible way, the sustainable way.
A geothermal field has been installed in order to bypass the need for standard air conditioning systems. A complex network of piping and equipment uses the earth as a heat source in winter and a heat sink in summer, boosting efficiency and dramatically reducing operational costs. The hotel is built with concrete slabs containing recycled materials using Kobiak's void formers. Strategically placing these recycled polypropylene hollow spheres saves approximately 1,279 tons of concrete while maintaining structural integrity. Photovoltaic panels are cleverly positioned to provide shade as well as power. Double-glazed windows with spectrally selective glass filter out hot rays and noise. Hotel Verde also boasts a sophisticated grey water recycling plant that contributes towards a 37% reduction of potable water use. The rainwater capture, filtering and harvesting system provides water for the car wash, irrigation and outdoor rinsing. Elevators are run on a regenerative drive, which will allow for about 30% of the input energy to be recaptured and fed back into the building. 3 beautiful wind turbines in front of the building are not only elegant landmarks, but will also contribute towards renewable energy generation.
There is simply no other hotel on this African continent which has taken the green idea that far as we have done it, and the whole approach going green is not only about the green building of the hotel. It is even much more important that we actually operate the hotel green as well. And of course, part of the green idea is also how do we treat our employees, how do we make sure that our community around us are also benefiting from our successful operation.
In short, the Verde team has left no stone unturned when it comes to sourcing, building, furnishing and running this groundbreaking hotel. Guests are guaranteed a luxurious, comfortable, professional and eco-friendly experience that will leave them with a lasting impression. Hotel Verde welcomes you. Enjoy your stay with us.
So, although I need to boast about these, I always get very shy when I get to this page. But when I spoke earlier about having a certification to verify what you do and how you do it, that was very important for us. And what we did is we obviously entered a lot of award categories, and which weren't paid for categories because we steer away from those. It's where we genuinely get recognized for what we do. And I think there's 3 that we're particularly proud of, and it was at World Travel Market in London in 2014. We were the winners of the World's Responsible Tourism Best City Hotel globally. In Hamburg, in 2014, amongst 200 top companies, we got awarded the Trendsetter Category Award as the winner, and then the latest one is the Green Hotelier Award for Africa and Middle East in 2015. When we talk about certifications, we went with LEED, which is a US Green Building Council certification, internationally recognized, and we achieved platinum for a new build construction. And then a year later we did the certification for operational practices and also managed to get platinum in LEED. Globally, that makes us the only hotel to receive double platinum through LEED and one of only 3 buildings globally. But then comes the good stuff. So when I said about operating a hotel, everybody, I think, in the hotel industry knows how to operate a hotel. It's funny, when I talk about what I do on a daily basis, maybe 2% of my day I might see a guest. 30% of my time is spent with staff issues. And then the rest of the time is actually spent on all the social, economic development programs we're involved in, charities, and just making a difference in general. So that is the passion, that's what drives us on a daily basis, and doing things uniquely different. But that is where the passion actually really stems from, because those are rewards that you can see on a daily basis when we interact with people around us. So we focus on learnerships, education, communities around us, and then the small business users. We don't buy directly from large wholesalers. We avoid it as best possible. We go directly to the source. Therefore, the actual producer gets the true price for his product, and he doesn't have to pay a commission to the wholesaler, or the wholesaler then also marks it up. So going directly to the source is very important for us, and we try and procure within an 80-kilometer radius from our property. When it comes to staff wellness, we extend it to their families. We're one of the only hotels that pay for a full medical aid for each family working in our hotel. And many incentives are shared with the staff, and they get to share in all the rewards that the company shares in. I'm with Hotel Verde in Cape Town at the International Airport, and Verde Hotels, which is a brand management company that we are growing globally. Yesterday I spoke about the sustainability issues and what we've managed to achieve at the property in Cape Town as our pilot project. So today, still, if there is any skepticism, to talk about the return on investment and what we term as thrivability. And we started introducing thrivability, focusing on people, profit, planet, which we touched on yesterday. And thrivability incorporates all that is implied with sustainability, but it expands it beyond its limitations and borders. So whereas we here currently probably still on the sustainability triangle, we believe we have shifted across to the thrivable triangle. And I will tell you why. Because on sustainability, you just neutralize. You try and repair the damage you've done. But on thrivability, you're not only repairing the damage, you are succeeding in completely outweighing and having a positive impact far greater. We did in our case study in Cape Town, we did the certification, which I touched on yesterday, and design and construction, we went through that yesterday, but it is all, it's all available on the website. And the one thing that I didn't mention, which is quite interesting and people never think of it, is to have little circulated pumps on your hot water. And I don't know if you've noticed when you stay in a hotel and you're at the end of the corridor, you have to open the hot water and wait and wait and wait because you've got to travel all that way to get to your room. So we have little pumps that continuously circulate the hot water, and because all our pipes are insulated, we don't have heat loss through our pipes. And the electricity that little pump uses is so minimal compared to the loss of water that we experience with having that water just run for a good 2-3 minutes. So it's something very simple. Renewable energy I spoke about, and then obviously it's not just about renewable energy, but it's also how you manage and have energy efficiency in place to save energy. So we've got a fancy geothermal field, which is really great, hyper-efficient HVAC system, so air conditioning, and just making sure that the whole building is insulated so that it is protected from the heat and the sun, and equally as much as the cold. Everything has a dual purpose. So a rooftop garden looks pretty, but it also serves as a buffer for any heat penetrating through into the lobby area, so the need to cool becomes far less. We have a really sophisticated plant room. It really looks amazing. I'm not allowed to go in there because they're scared I'm going to break something, so I can only look through the window. But just to give you an idea, on the graph, this is our energy kilowatts per hour per annum, all right? To the right is the US Green Building LEED model benchmark. So we're doing way better than the US Green Building Council certification benchmark. Then we've got the Cape Town average, and then we've got our SANS code, which is the generic accepted kilowatts per hour per annum usage. So very little. As it was rightly pointed out by Judy, people look at energy first because it's a saving on the bottom line. And we did the same. We started running into trouble and had about 45–50% hiking electricity tariffs. So from a business perspective, this was obviously one of the first and foremost concerns for us. In operations, the guest incentives for doing the right thing, so the guest is the beneficiary of making the right choice. Corporate social responsibility, I just wanted to touch briefly on this because it's something that I'm really passionate about. I spoke sort of at length yesterday about social media. The one thing that I'm very passionate about, and when you talk about companies going and painting school walls and it gets published all over social media, and it's a big company and they have maybe 20 of their staff doing it out of probably a 5,000 complement. And it's a big thing. We have in South Africa, which we call 67 minutes for Mandela, where we have to do something good. And it's amazing how all of this gets put on social media. All the companies do it. And the one thing that I express is when we do something of a sensitive nature like that, it will never, ever go onto social media, because then we're doing it for the wrong reason. We're doing it for in here, not for the PR and the marketing exposure. So I'm very passionate about that. Then we talk about tracking and reporting. We track and report. We've got a very simple, unsophisticated building management system. As I said, I don't get access or pass 5.3 million kilograms of coal burned. We have a 3-year airline contract with one of the airlines, and purely by staying with us,
Okay? It's the equivalent of carbon that they've saved of 160 air flights, 93 kilograms of plastic bags, 4 Olympic-sized pools in water, and 1 nuclear plant worth of electricity production for an hour. So, there's our little blackboard, all right? And we update this continuously. My slide is outdated. We started with the lead minimum, which is 160 kilometer radius. 2 years later, or a year and a half later, excuse me, we were able to narrow it now down to only 80 kilometers. And although we get our meat from around a corner, that's the distributor, we want to know where is the farm and where's the abattoir. So we look at how the animals are treated when they get to the abattoir, how they're transported, and the actual farm where the meat comes from, not the wholesaler. So there's a lot of work that goes into it. It's not easy. A lot of research, a lot of angry people that think that you are trying to find something, that don't want anything to do with you. It's fine. You just move on to the next supplier there. And Bruce from Hotel Amenities, Just So Amenities, Bespoke Amenities. We were his first contract. He tailor-made our body wash and our body lotions for us. And we had it analyzed by chemical engineers, and it scored 8 out of 10 as the most responsible product that they've seen in a long time. We have an Italian gentleman that stays with us. When he ever comes to stay with us once a year, he buys a whole box of it. He's got such allergic reaction to normal conventional soaps, and this is the only one that he can use. Since then, and we've challenged suppliers. Some have come back and said we're not interested, some have done some homework and they've come back with what we have required from them. This gentleman started with us as a contract. He's now one of the biggest amenity suppliers. He supplies the whole of City Lodge now as well because of that. I'm glad, and a lot of people feel that I don't want them to steal my ideas. I don't want them to steal my products. That's my supply. That's my recipe. It's not. I am so chuffed that these big companies have now taken it on board because we've got less harmful ingredients going into our water supplies. On our procurement, we also do the aquaponics. We're not fantastic gardeners as yet. We're still trying. In fact, we tried the worm farms as well. Great idea. Until the person who went on leave left me in charge for 3 weeks. They all died, Lorraine. So I'm not a farmer, so I know that. We at the bottom, disposal worse, energy recovery better, recycling better, reuse is even better, minimization, and then prevention completely. Employee engagement. Get people involved. We have a little in-house program, we call it Avanti. And that's where we continuously train and train and train and inspire our staff with new methodologies and new way of doing things. All the staff participate in waste, whether you're a manager or a cleaner, everybody sorts waste. Our guest engagement, I spoke about the reward scheme, and then the subtle ways in which we actually then we convey the message. Our investment figures, I won't go into detail. This for me is the simplest one. And this is purely on water and energy. I think this year on our last financials it's even better. Our payback even total now is down to just under 5 years. And there we go. Direct conversion from rands to dollars, which is the utilities, it's $5 for an average Cape Town hotel, $1.80 for us. And so I haven't changed the rand, sorry. But we worked on it just under 3 million rand saving, 2.5 to 3 million saving per year. Just so that you know, we've got the 6-star Green Building Council rating. We have to pay for them to do it because it's at a much higher level, more involvement. But the 4-star level certification is actually free. Okay, and I know there is a Green Building Council certification available locally. Non-quantifiable return on investments. I spoke about press and PR yesterday as well. But there's certain things that obviously your rising costs and utilities, risks, And then slow depreciation of your building because you have high-tech equipment. It's future-proofed already. Figures, I'm not a figures person, but very, very clear to see there's a huge return and a huge net benefit on a green building versus a normal building. Then everybody says to me, you have a green building, you run it green, you've got all these awards, all these certifications, so Bob's your uncle. It's not. So we're continuously innovating what we're doing. It's not good enough. And it's frustrating sometimes because you feel you can't do anymore. But if we didn't divert enough waste from landfill, we set targets and goals. And I think that came out yesterday as well, targets and goals to achieve. So we do constant innovation with regards to any equipment that we have that we feel we could have done better, operations, maintenance, and we optimize the energy efficiency. Our fridges are set on timers, so they don't run 24 hours in a room. They only switch on for 3 hours, and then they switch off for 2 hours. Why? Because it actually retains the coolness. You don't have to have it running. So we continuously monitor and optimize. So the journey never ends. It's always ongoing. So we're hoping to make a difference in the countries that we open green or retrofit to green hotels and manage on green. And I think you're right.
Samantha Annandale from Hotel Verde, Cape Town in South Africa. Also heading up Verde Hotels, which is a thrivable hospitality management company. I was privileged to be involved with the opening of Africa's greenest hotel in Cape Town. What makes it sustainable is not just the way that the actual hotel building was put together from a technological point of view, but certainly the way it is operated to ensure the longevity of it, the efficiency and the overall impact that it creates in the local environment. With our staff that work within the property, we always use them to advocate our brand and what we do. It becomes a way of life, and I think we focus so much on the children of today, and that is where we try and make the difference. Our team is very young, so we look at training and taking on young kids in learnerships, and they make a difference within their own communities. I think because they also see the difference on a daily basis. I think it's also important for them to see what the results are. We make sure that all of our staff engage in all our activities. It's not a management decision what we do and how we do it. It becomes a team collective decision. And that's how you ensure that the team share the same vision as the company's mission. I think with regards to, I want to just quickly touch on the recycling subject as well, is although we do have to recycle and we do as much as we possibly can, our first and our key focus is to avoid even to recycle. So we opt to reuse, or in fact we are now banning straws in our bar. And somebody said to me, how am I going to drink a margarita without a straw? I said, well, give me 10 margaritas, I'll show you 10 different ways to drink it. But the point is rather avoid it than having to recycle, because we just add to the industrial sector by recycling. However, if there is no other alternative, is then to make sure that we recycle our waste. As a team within our property, from the manager, from the heads of departments, whether you're the housekeeper, the food and beverage manager, the rooms division manager, everybody has a day that they actually work in the waste area. So it's not just 3 people's job to separate waste, everybody gets their turn. And so it shows obviously, and it teaches people, but because it's considered a dirty job, it's not just 3 individuals that do it, everybody. And it shows that we are all a team, and not one person or 3 people make a difference, but certainly a whole team or group of people. Within return on investment, this is something that we challenge with every day. We know from our statistics that it's viable, and we also obviously understand, because we monitor and we have statistics, that it is viable. So just to give you an example, an average hotel, and I'm using the rand to dollar conversion, for utilities, water, sewage and electricity for one evening would cost approximately around about $6 US, whereas our hotel operates on just over $1 per night. So that's about a $1.5 difference, and you take that over 365 days of the year, we run an average of 80% occupancy on 145 rooms. In rands, that gives us a saving of just under 3 million a year on utilities alone. And where people have this concept that going green, being organic is more expensive, so the consumer pays more, we actually prove the reverse. In the fact that because the consumer makes the correct decision to stay at a green sustainable hotel, he should be paying less because he's doing the right thing. And we can offer a reduced rate purely because our overall operating costs are substantially lower than a conventional hotel. So there is no premium to pay to stay in a green hotel. And when you look at that return on investment, we know that just purely on utilities, our premium that we spent on the green infrastructure and technology will be recovered within just under 5 years. And I don't think there's any other investment out there that can give you a better return than that. I think it is inspiring to be a part of it. It's certainly, I think there's a long way to go. I get very passionate about it because I want to come back in 3 weeks' time and work with everybody and throw ideas around. And it's lovely and encouraging to see that these forums, they need to happen on a more regular basis so that they maintain consistency and momentum. But for me, it's when I drive and I look at the kids and what difference we can make to their lives, and that is the important part.